So hello guys, welcome to episode 31, and now if you didn't go back and watch the last episode, go back and watch it. Monaco Grand Prix, we had a cracking finish. Well, for Fernando Alonso, we certainly did, finishing up P4, and Pierre Gasly dropping a few positions for some ridiculous driving. Got P7 though in the end. Both guys doing very, very well. And this is another street circuit, another one of my favourite Grand Prix this weekend. It is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, 51 laps round here. First Grand Prix in 2016. Charles Leclerc holds the lap record, as you can see. Quite a different sort of circuit, nice intricate corners, but also a big long start finish straight, and DRS will be vastly important around here. The expected strategy is a one stop from mediums onto hards, but there is ever the chance of a safety car here. Just to inform you on what's been going on, we've just had a new chassis come through the design, so we've now got a new chassis from where we were before. As you can see on the right hand side, we were 8th and 14th for top speed and acceleration on car 1. The new chassis has pumped us up to 6th and 11th, so that's going to be a massive bonus for us going into this weekend. So all that's left for me to do, I'm going to get through the practice sessions, and we'll see you in qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Hello from Baku, where we're looking forward to a weekend of racing among the medieval and the modern, here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Drivers will be battling it out on the streets of the Baku city circuit, a real contradiction of a track. From the long main straight, where the less drag the better, to the tight turns where downforce is a necessity. Teams are going to have to work hard to get that balance right. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
So checkered flag in Q2, you can see both our guys just coming round the final couple of corners onto the long start finish straight. Both guys on very used soft compound tyres for the first runs in Q2. It'll be interesting to see what can happen here. Can Fernando Alonso get out of the drop zone, and Pierre Gasly? Both guys have got to put a decent lap in here. Fernando Alonso comes across the line, moves into P10, but Pierre Gasly, where's he going to finish? P9. That is going to knock Fernando Alonso out in Q2. Very disappointing for Fernando Alonso. Didn't have the greatest lap, but Pierre Gasly is into Q3, so we'll come back for that. And final lap in Q3, Pierre Gasly again on worn tyres on his first lap, but has got some making up to do here. Pierre Gasly coming down the final windy, bendy straight. Windy bender? We'll call it that for now. Pierre Gasly coming up to the line. Can he improve on P9? It's going to be difficult. It's not been really our quickest track this weekend, it must be said. Pierre Gasly comes up to the line and stays P9. We've not had the greatest qualifying at Aston Martin in Azerbaijan, which is a bit disappointing, and we are 1.5 seconds off the pace, which is slightly concerning as well. We haven't been this far back for quite a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can do in the race, and I think we have to hopefully pray for some sort of safety car or something like that if we're going to be really at the top of the grid come the checkered flag. So we'll get into the strategy now. But P9, P11, not the worst, but certainly not the best. So guys, strategy-wise, nothing too major. We're going to go on the standard, bog standard strategy, the one-stop, medium onto hards. We have got the option of changing onto the softs later on, should we feel necessary. Both guys have got a fresh set of soft compound tyres to use, so that could be an option for later on in the Grand Prix. But P11, P9, let's see what we can do. Push from the start, and let's get to 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Will their hard work pay off today? Here we go with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we're going to be looking at that man, Pierre Gasly, riding on board with him. He's got the outside line into turn 1, using the ERS, using the overtake. He's already passed Guan Yu Zhou. Straight away, Pierre Gasly making light work of the Alpha Tauri of Guan Yu Zhou, and he's got all the options to push and try and make up some positions early in this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso also having a look at Esteban Ocon, obviously former teammates here. It's going to be fantastic to see, can he get past him? Fernando Alonso inside line into that corner, using that ERS. Both guys gaining a position early. Now, my fear for this Grand Prix is, apart from Fernando getting stuck in this sort of train, but he's managing to do some bits early on, my fear is that the guys at the front do tend to run away. But Pierre Gasly, he's making absolute moves here. We'll switch to the TV view as he's looking to get past Valtteri Bottas. Is he going to manage to make it stick? Valtteri Bottas on the soft compound tyre, just keeping in there, but Pierre Gasly doing a stonking job of battling with him. Really, Valtteri Bottas on those tyres should be absolutely flying compared to Pierre, but Pierre Gasly doing good work early doors in this Grand Prix. Lap 1, P8 and P10, not too bad at all. Meanwhile, at the front, Charles Leclerc leads from Max Verstappen, then comes Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, George Russell, Carlos Sainz in 6th, Bottas 7th, Gasly 8th, 9th for Fernando Alonso as he's just made a move on at Guan Yu Zhou. They're not rookie now in this alternate F1 universe that we are living in. And then Guan Yu Zhou down in P10, but a decent first lap for both drivers. Lap 5, we bring you back. There's not been too much movement in terms of the formation and the grid lineup here, but Pierre Gasly is doing everything he possibly can to stay with Valtteri Bottas. We cannot keep pace with this Alfa Romeo on these soft compound tyres at the moment, and Fernando Alonso has had to burn ERS to try and keep up with him. Unfortunately, on the last lap, he couldn't quite do it, and Fernando Alonso and now Pierre Gasly have both dropped out of DRS range of the cars in front, so not ideal at all. Really struggling to keep up with Bottas, but his tyres are going to start faltering a lot quicker than ours are. That's something to look positive about. Meanwhile, at the front, Charles Leclerc is still leading from Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Hamilton and Russell coming 4th and 5th. Then Carlos Sainz. Probably is the max. P6 is possibly the maximum today. We are still very much trying, but trying this race is. Tyre-wise, we've got Russell and Perez both on soft. Bottas is on the softs as well. And then come our guys on the medium compounded tyres. So far so good. Both in the points, comfortably ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. But at the moment, we are really struggling to keep pace with Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz. Lap 16, the soft runners are in. Bottas, Perez and Russell all into the pits, onto the hard compounded tyre. Going to be interesting now. Are they going to go to the end? I would expect that they are. But now it's time for our guys to really put the hammer down, see if we can make this advantage count on these medium compound. We've got about 5 or 6 laps until we will be looking to come in. But Pierre Gasly now up to P5, Alonso P6. It's hammer time. Car in the wall, lap 16, safety car. Unfortunately, we are going to have to double stack. That is the one issue we've got here. I'm hoping it's going to affect Fernando's race. We know that. But it's something we've got to do. We've got to take the hit, I'm afraid. We are going to have to go onto these hard compound tyre. We are going to lose more if we don't pit this lap. So this is what's going to happen. I'm yet to see the incident. It does look like it's Mick Schumacher in the Williams that has retired. I'm hoping we're going to get a replay of that shortly. But meanwhile, Pierre Gasly now is coming into the pits, as is Carlos Sainz. I'd be amazed if these guys at the front decided not to come in. Carlos Sainz has bit the bullet, as has our guys. We need good stops from our guys here. Vastly important for us. Where is Sergio Perez? Sergio Perez coming down the main straight. This could be very difficult for us. Let's have a look. How many positions do we stand to lose here? Zhou's through. But bear in mind, these guys have still got to stop. Stroll. Really, it's Perez that we're looking at. Sergio Perez now is past us. It's not worked out great for our guys, this. Pierre Gasly's now coming out, as is Fernando Alonso. We've not actually lost too much there. We have Bottas has managed to get in front of us again. We are going to have the fresher tyres towards the end, that must be said. But Pierre Gasly comes out in front of Bottas, that's fair enough. We'll get us saving all the tyres now, saving all the fuel. Get the ERS charge back up, and then it's going to be a long stint on these tyres now, all the way to the end. We'll come back when we're back to green flag running. Safety car is coming in. There's a few guys in front not stopped, but Pierre Gasly is going to be one of the guys. He's in now P10. We've said use the overtake. We're not going to lean on the tyres. We know that that's the wrong thing to do. These guys in front who have not boxed have had an absolute mare. Why they've not boxed is beyond me. We need to make moves early. If we can get George Russell, that'd be ideal. And then we've got these guys to just hold off towards. These guys probably going to be coming in a couple of laps' time, which I just think is bonkers what they've done. Really, I'd like to get Fernando Alonso past Valtteri Bottas. That would be the ideal. If I can do that, I'd be very, very happy indeed. And Fernando Alonso is looking to make the move on the inside of Valtteri Bottas. They're now side by side. Valtteri Bottas keeping his nose in the two pros here, really going at it. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly having a look at George Russell as well, but not quite getting through. But Fernando Alonso, is he through? Valtteri Bottas will not give up P11 at this moment in time. It's still Fernando Alonso who's in there trying to battle with Valtteri Bottas. Has he got the move done? It doesn't look like he has. He's going to be going side by side through the castle section. No, he isn't. Valtteri Bottas thought better of it. Pierre Gasly, lovely work from both our guys there. Very impressed. Fantastic work. 10th and 11th, lap 18. Lap 21, and the first one of the guys who didn't come in under safety car has just come out, and Max Verstappen has come out at the back of the pack. You'd be absolutely fuming if you're Max Verstappen. I'm sure there's a few expletives on the radio. That moves us up to P9 and 10. George Russell's just managed to get past Ocon. We really need to be following him through. Still 9th and 10th for our two guys. Sticking with it, lap 21. Lap 22, DRS is disabled because we've had a crash on track involving multiple cars. And it looks like it's going to be Danny Ricciardo in the McLaren. What's happened here? He's just locked up, has he? Fantastic replay. What a replay that is. Well, anyway, what we can surmise is Danny Ricciardo has crashed because he's the one that's got a penalty. Great replays there, lap 22. Just a quick one, while under VSC, Charles Leclerc minimised the damage from not pitting earlier. He's now coming out in P10, so much better for him than Max Verstappen. But still coming out P10, he comes out behind Alex Albon, and we know how difficult those Alfa Romeos are to pass. Lap 23. Lap 24, we've swapped the cars. We felt that Fernando with the ERS might be able to catch us back up to George Russell and hopefully keep Pierre in the hunt as well. So that was the plan. Is it going to pay off? We're hoping so. Pierre Gasly still just about staying within the DRS of Fernando Alonso. That is the plan. Is it going to work for us? We shall have to see. But Fernando Alonso definitely has more chance of catching George Russell than Pierre Gasly does. Lap 24. And I've got to say, strategy-wise, that has played out absolutely beautifully. Fernando Alonso, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix and has caught George Russell. Pierre Gasly's broken the DRS of Valtteri Bottas. What a lovely, lovely bit of strategy that were. And now one of our guys is in the hunt. He's in the hunt for a podium. Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, George Russell. You better be checking those mirrors, sunshine, because these Aston Martins are coming to get you. Lap 25. Lap 26. And that man, Fernando Alonso, making light work of the Mercedes of George Russell. Skip past him on the outside. George Russell more concerned about Pierre Gasly behind him. Fernando Alonso, great work, up into a podium position. Are we going to get a shot from our garage? We're not. But Fernando Alonso, fastest lap and in P3 at this moment in time. Great work for him. And meanwhile, we're still just about holding off Valtteri Bottas, who is running in P6 as well with Pierre Gasly, which is vitally important for us in this Grand Prix. Lap 26. We'll have a quick check on the front because it is Sergio Perez who is now leading from Carlos Sainz. Fernando Alonso in third, Russell fourth, Pierre Gasly 5th, Bottas 6th, Leclerc in 7th, Vettel 8th, 9th for Albon, 10th for Kevin Magnussen, with a charge in at Max Verstappen just behind him. One DNF so far, and that is the Williams of Mick Schumacher. Esteban Ocon, turn 7. We've got a crash coming up here, people. What's he done? He's just locked up and binned it, and that, amazingly, has not brought out a safety car. We've just got yellows in sector 1. Seems to have recovered itself. Fernando Alonso has been overtaken by George Russell, but not the end of the world. We're still doing his best to sort of keep with him. And to be honest with you, I'd rather us have the DRS than George Russell, and we can save our tyres a little bit more than him as well. That's the idea. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly just cannot keep up with Fernando Alonso this weekend, and it is showing because now he's got Valtteri Bottas for company. And it's going to be a difficult race from here on in for Pierre Gasly. But there is a podium chance with Fernando, lap 28. And on lap 28, we said Bottas was causing some problems. He certainly has. We've had to charge his ERS up, Pierre Gasly. We're going to have a couple of laps. Let's let Bottas push a little bit now for a few laps. And we'll come back again a little bit later on, lap 28. He's joining us back, lap 31 now. Fernando Alonso still very much with George Russell. But the squabbling has brought Valtteri Bottas back into play. Not only that, Charles Leclerc, who remember stopped later under that VSC, is now firing along in that Scuderia Ferrari, and he is going to be on the back of Valtteri Bottas very, very shortly. Fernando Alonso has got a big battle on his hands if he wants to try and keep this podium. Lap 31. Lap 33, and we decided it was time to get past George Russell, because as you can see behind, that Ferrari of Charles Leclerc is coming, and I'd rather be him fighting with George Russell before he starts fighting with us. We used a little bit of overtake, got the job done, and now it's if we can run for the hills. I don't think we've quite got the pace to do it, but I thought putting a car between us and that Ferrari might be a good idea. Lap 33. We've just had a very, very bad straight here. George Russell got past us, as you would expect with the DRS, but look at the left-hand side. The Ferrari of Charles Leclerc also having a little pop at us down that left-hand side. George Russell was done before he got to the corner. Fernando Alonso keeping his nose, and it must be said, and it's still now ongoing, this little battle. We just haven't got the pace of the Mercedes and the Ferrari today. We know that, but Fernando Alonso doing his absolute utmost here to keep hold of this position and just really slow down Charles Leclerc. Fernando Alonso's got to hold on to the back of these guys. That's the main thing. The Ferrari and the Mercedes, I think the Ferrari's got the podium all day long here. It's what we can do in terms of holding on to the back of these guys now with, what, 16, 17 laps to go. We can probably pull away from Valtteri Bottas should we get the chance, but at this moment in time, Fernando Alonso just hold on to the back of those two in front. Meanwhile, checking at the front, it's very much a two-horse race for the win here in Baku. Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez are the two battling for the win, but Charles Leclerc and us very much in the hunt for a podium. It'd be unlikely, but you never know. Lap 34. And I think on lap 37, the podium chances have just disappeared. Fernando Alonso, we've done everything we possibly can to keep up with that Ferrari. The issue was George Russell weren't really getting close enough to battle with him. And as soon as that started happening, they were just streamlining each other. We just could not keep up without burning a DRS. What we did manage to do on the positive side is build a little bit of a gap to Valtteri Bottas to keep him out of DRS ranges, which is what we're going to be looking at for the rest of this Grand Prix now. But barring a safety car, I think P5 is the maximum, unless these two guys in front decide to run into each other. We might as well have a look at the back of the grid, because we don't really look there nowadays. Esteban Ocon running in P19. Lando Norris, he'll be massively disappointed in that McLaren, as is Danny Ricciardo. Nicholas Latifi, P16 in the Haas. Magnussen, P14 in the Haas. Stroll, then Hamilton down in P12. Zhou and Vettel. Verstappen 13 seconds behind Pierre Gasly in P7. But all we want to watch now, we know Valtteri Bottas is quick, we know that, so we've just got to manage this gap between him and Fernando for the rest of this race. But barring a safety car, I think that's pretty much job done. Lap 41, Valtteri Bottas very much on the back of Fernando Alonso now. We're harvesting the ERS. I think we can negate the threat of Valtteri Bottas, but one thing other to keep an eye on, we've not really mentioned Pierre Gasly for a long time in this episode, because he's been tottering along on his own in P7. Nothing in front, nothing behind really of any note, but he has got a charging Max Verstappen, and with 10 laps to go, Max Verstappen was 1.5 seconds quicker on the previous lap. He will be in striking distance before the end of this Grand Prix. Hopefully Pierre has got the ERS to negate it if possible. But Fernando Alonso just managing this ERS at this moment in time. He's just blocked Valtteri Bottas off on the last lap as well, going down this start-finish straight harvesting. So hopefully we can manage this effectively and get Fernando that P5, which I think he so richly deserves this afternoon. And we'll just keep an eye on it towards the end of this lap to see if Fernando, bearing in mind on harvest, Valtteri Bottas has got DRS, but Fernando Alonso once again just about managing to hold him off. Valtteri Bottas is going to get the DRS down the next straight, is he? No, Fernando's going to get that, and hopefully Fernando is going to get past him. Not quite. We'll switch it back to neutral and monitor it from here, but this very much is the battle for P5 towards the end of this race. Pierre Gasly has been asked to play the team game. Max Verstappen has closed up. He's only 2 seconds away from Fernando Alonso if he gets past Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly's been told, hold up the man behind you as much as possible. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso just looking like he's losing a bit of distance towards Valtteri Bottas. He can't afford to lose DRS, and we really need him now to sort of use that experience, although Valtteri Bottas has got equally as much. To just keep within range, and the last couple of laps will make it ours. But lap 46, we're having to play the tactical game here, especially with Pierre Gasly, lap 46. And so guys, it's all going to come down to this final lap we're going to be coming on to very shortly. We've saved the ERS. Pierre Gasly has done a fantastic job of man-marking Max Verstappen. He's given us just enough of a gap to make sure we don't lose P6. But now it's all on Fernando Alonso to see if he can get past the man that is Valtteri Bottas. He's using ERS, he's using the DRS. If he doesn't get him into the first overtaking zone, that's not the problem. We could really do it hanging on, get into the second DRS zone, and this is it. This is where the move is going to need to be. He's going to have to get him on this next straight. This is what he needs to do. This is what it all comes down to for us. Switch to overtake. Now's your time, Fernando. It weren't a great exit. Is he going to manage to get past him? He's got the ERS overtake on. Is he going to get past him? He looks like he is. Fernando Alonso pushing, and he's passed Valtteri Bottas into P5. And now he's going to be told to deploy as much as he bloody wants all around this last lap. Fernando Alonso done a fantastic job. We look okay on fuel. Pierre Gasly managing it efficiently. Are we going to manage to get to the end of this Grand Prix? I believe we will. He's on deploy. Just get your son out of there. And Max Verstappen might be on the back of Valtteri Bottas, and that was why it was so key. Because Max Verstappen might have a run at Valtteri Bottas down the start, finish straight, up to the checkered flag. But Fernando Alonso has drove particularly well here this afternoon. We haven't had the pace of the Mercs, we haven't had the pace of the Ferraris, but what we have had is the measure of Valtteri Bottas. We've bided his time, used his resources effectively. Fernando Alonso has nearly pulled out a second on Valtteri Bottas using this ERS. We're going to ride on board with Fernando Alonso. We'll check the back of his wing because now Valtteri Bottas is going to be looking at Max Verstappen. I think it's going to be job done for Fernando Alonso. What we will do is just quickly switch to Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas because this is going to be the run up to the line. Can Max Verstappen get past Valtteri Bottas? This is why it was so important for Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso is going to come across the line. P5 for him. Is Max Verstappen going to manage it? He's got DRS. Valtteri Bottas hasn't. But Valtteri Bottas will just hold on to P6.
Yeah, well done again.
But Fernando Alonso, P5. Fernando Alonso credits the strategy. I do also. But special mention for Pierre Gasly. Done fantastically well there to hold up Max Verstappen. He's actually run out of petrol. He's done fantastically well to hold off Max Verstappen, give us that extra second, which in the end was absolutely key. Let's get to the classification.
Very good points for the team.
So there we go, guys. Entertaining Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz comes in, winning in P1. Charles Leclerc in P2. Sergio Perez P3. Russell P4. Alonso 5th. Bottas 6th. Bottas is one hell of a driver on this. As he is in real life. Max Verstappen P7, Gasly P8, Guan Yu Zhou P9, and Lewis Hamilton getting the final point down in P10. Alexander Albon with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. For the driver's standings, Pierre Gasly gets another 4 points to continue to stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso getting 10 points. He's now chasing down George Russell in the other Mercedes. It's Aston Martin versus Mercedes at the moment, and it very much is that in the constructors as well. We remain in P4 on 107 points, 15 behind Mercedes in P3. Red Bull and Ferrari pretty close at the top. And at the driver's standings, Max Verstappen is still leading ahead of Carlos Sainz. Thank you so much for watching that. We shall see you on Thursday for the next Grand Prix. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. See you later.